guys, so today's video is just going to be my eyeshadow palette collection. I'm only going to show you guys like an actual palette. I'm not going to show you my Z palettes just because they've got all separate like individual eyeshadows in them. They're mainly Makeup Geek and I've already done a top 10 Makeup Geek eyeshadow video, so I can link that one down below if you haven't seen that and you're interested in my Makeup Geek eyeshadows. But today's specific video is going to be just on my palettes that you buy and you get, you know, a whole range of colours in them. So if you would like to see my palette collection, then just keep watching. Start out, I've got a Stila palette. This is the Stila in the Light palette. And these are what the shades look like here. This is an absolutely beautiful, beautiful palette. You get like your staple kitten shade and you get like a matte transition shade, you get a matte deeper brown, you get a matte black, and then you get all these beautiful shimmer shades. So this was one of my first eyeshadow palettes that I ever bought and I absolutely adore it. It is so super pigmented. Like, you get such good colour payoff from one swipe, and Stila eyeshadows are just super creamy and buttery, and yeah, they're just really good. I got this one from beautybae.com, but Mecca Cosmetica sells them, so if you live in Australia I would highly recommend to get one from Mecca. Oh, and it also has a cute little quote in the top. It says, "Believe in the beauty of the future," by Sarah Lucero. So that is my Stila in the Light palette. Next up I have two Lorac palettes. So the first one I have is the Lorac Pro Palette, which just looks like this. This is again so beautiful, so creamy, so buttery, and it's really compact. Like, it's really skinny and lightweight, so it's easy for traveling and that kind of thing. And the colours are just absolutely gorgeous. I use this gold shade at Christmas time. Look at that. Do you see that? That's like my favourite Christmassy gold shade. I did a tutorial last Christmas using it with a red lip, and yeah, I just love this palette. These Lorac shadows are one of the only shadows that even when they're a matte shade, they're still super creamy and pigmented. A lot of the time with matte eyeshadows you don't get as much pigment as you would with shimmer, but these are on par with their pigmentation. And then I have my baby. This is probably my all-time favourite eyeshadow palette in the whole entire world, and it is the Lorac Mega Pro Palette. So this one I believe was limited edition, which really sucks because you basically get like two of this size in one palette, and you literally get every single shade you could ever need in here. You get warm tones, cool tones, pink tones, rose tones, like you get everything. I'm getting puffed. So if you can get your hands on this and you find it somewhere, I would highly recommend getting this. I actually got this last Christmas from my boyfriend and I picked it out and I was just like, I need this in my life. Can I please have it? So definitely this is one palette I always like reach for. You can create so many different looks with this, and I've done quite a few tutorials on my channel using this, which I always kind of feel bad for because it is limited edition, but I just can't help myself. It's just amazing, and I love, one of my favourite shades is this smoky topaz shade down the bottom. Next I have two Drugstore palettes. These are the Chic eyeshadow palettes. So this one is the bronzers and this one is the mattes. These eyeshadow palettes are good for the price. I got a 2-pack for, I'm like doing a dance with these palettes over here. I got a 2-pack from Target for I think $30. They are good. They're obviously not going to be as pigmented as like Lorac or anything, any higher end ones. But honestly, get what you pay for, and if you're just starting out in makeup or you just want to branch out with different colours and that kind of thing, I would highly recommend to get one of these Chic palettes. They have heaps of different kinds of colours, like they have colourful palettes, they have different shades all mixed in together with, does that make sense? They have different shades. So yeah, not obviously the absolute best quality, but for the price they are pretty good. Now I will talk about my Urban Decay palette. So to start off I have the Naked Basics palette. This palette has been used to death. Not quite to death, it hasn't been completely used up yet. But I absolutely adore this palette. I use this shade here, Naked 2, for my brows. And I can use Faint in the ends of my brows, so you can use it for multiple different things. Yeah, it only has one shimmery shade, which is this highlight shade called Venus. But if you are after just a simple basic matte palette, get this one. My mum actually bought this as well, and it's her favourite palette, like hands down. She just mainly likes to use matte shades and just neutrals, so this is like the perfect palette for neutral matte looks. So yes, I freaking love this palette. I've had it for a long time now too, and it's lasted me. And then I have 3 Naked palettes. So I have obviously the original Naked palette, which looks like this. This is like nice and warm toned. It does have some cool toned shades, like I love this toasted shade down here. But yes, I probably like this palette the best. It's probably the one I use the most. The first Naked palette I actually purchased was the Naked 2. I forget who I saw using it all the time and just persuaded me to buy it, but this is what it looks like. My favourite shade in here is Decay, like hands down. It is the most gorgeous shade ever. One of my very first makeup tutorials on my channel is using this Decay shade with teas, and it's like a smoky, plummy, nighttime going out look kind of thing. So yes, this is the perfect like silver, smoky eye, cool toned eyeshadow palette, I think. Except the only thing with this is like my shadows actually have fallen out of some of the balls, and I've glued them back in, but they just don't want to stay. And then my third palette is obviously the Naked 3. This is probably my favourite packaging. I don't know, I really like the rose gold and that kind of thing that it's got going on, and this is obviously just all pinky, romantic, taupey kind of shades. I did a tutorial again just a few videos ago using like these taupey shades down here, and I just really like this palette. It's not one that I pick up all the time because I'm more of a gold, bronzy, warm toned colour kind of person, but I would highly recommend this if you are a fan of like those pinky rose gold tones and yeah, those soft, nice romantic colours. This also has this colour Trick in here, which is like a bronze goldish colour, which is so beautiful. And my last brand of palettes I have is BH Cosmetics. So BH Cosmetics is an American brand, but I generally purchase all of my BH Cosmetics from OzSale. OzSale is basically a website that gets all sorts of brands, and it has usually discounted prices, and BH is one brand that pops up on there all the time. It's actually on there right now. I went to purchase another palette last night, but I was like, I need to be saving my money. These are really good quality. This is the Galaxy Chic palette. I have crumbled this colour up here, so I don't want to tip it too much. But these are baked eyeshadows, and holy guacamole, are they pigmented. Like, these colours are absolutely incredible. So you get enough colours to do, you know, neutral looks, but you also get these nice blue, bright blue colours and this bright coral colour. If you are going to try out BH Cosmetics for the first time, I would recommend getting this palette or any of their baked eyeshadows because they are just so pigmented and creamy and good. Next, this is the first BH Cosmetic palette that I actually bought. This is the Day and Night. This is the Day and Night palette, 60 colour eyeshadow palette. And that is what it looks like there. I always go to this palette when I need, like, for example, yesterday I uploaded a tutorial of a pop of blue under the eye. So I came into this palette to use this turquoise aqua kind of blue up here. So yeah, it's got beautiful shimmery shades. The matte shades aren't quite as good as the shimmers, but for a beginner, like when I first started freelancing, I needed colourful eyeshadows because I just needed to have colours on hand. Like, I didn't know what people would want before I got there, so this was really handy to just have on hand so that I knew I had different colours in case people wanted like colourful eyeshadow looks. So love that one. And then I have two palettes that I got at the same time when I was freelancing again. I haven't really used them that much, but this one's called Take Me to Brazil, and again this is just full of bright colory. This one is just full of bright coloured shades. You get like a nice big matte black and a nice shimmery white colour that you could probably use as a highlight shade as well, actually. And yeah, you just get all these different bright colours. They're not crazy pigmented. You would have to work to build them up a bit. But again, just for having colourful eyeshadows, these palettes are really good because they're really affordable. These only cost me like $12, I believe. And then I just have the Eyes on the 60s palette, which looks like this. And it does have a little screen over the top. Again, colourful eyeshadows, but you also get like bronzes and golds and browns and like really beautiful shimmery shades in here. I've used this green down here before and it's actually really nice. So yes. So those are all my eyeshadow palettes, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I pretty much just saw Kathleen Lights do this video and I was like, I want to do one of those. So that's where my inspiration came from. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and please leave me any suggestions of palettes that you love and have and you think I would maybe like to add to my collection eventually. I definitely want to get the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette because that just looks amazing. I swatched it last week when I was at Mecca and I was just in love, so I will be getting that one. Don't you guys worry. I don't know how I've gone this long without it, to be honest. Anyway, that's it from me, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!